Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. Just do a quick final wash up on game week 26, and then we'll have a look at the team for game week 27 as it goes out at the moment, and any transfer decisions made, and some of my thoughts around future transfer decisions. So, yeah, just very, very quickly, just a final wash up on 26. Yeah, at the start of the last couple of games this morning, Liverpool City and Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. It was looking like disaster. I was on about 27 points, so very, very happy to have got away with that one. 87 points, and yeah, I was actually at the beginning. Before those two games, I was sitting on about a 30-40k red. I've ended up with just under a 30k green, so yeah, I feel like there's a lucky escape there. Some little bits of bad luck in there as well. I had another look at that third Hall assist, and yeah, probably would have been a bit soft to have given it. Great play by the lad, but yeah, probably wasn't aiming for that player. But still, I've seen softer ones given. In fairness, yeah. But other than that, yeah, 87 points. Absolutely take it. Big scoring week in the end. Very big range of scores out there from some disasters. I think getting that assistant manager's chip reasonably right was a big help with Slot, and then obviously some good scores coming in from the likes of Isaac, Bumo, Salah obviously goes without saying. Yeah, dodged a bullet. Let's call it what it is. Let's move on. Let's have a look at game week 27, which I feel is a very important one. And there has been one transfer made. Did it early. Hopefully get away with it. Hopefully there's no issues between now and deadline. But price changes will certainly be incoming for this player. So as you know, I'd sort of have my little short list. And on that was two strikers, Mateta and Cunha. And the one I've gone with, because I haven't decided on one of them yet because they blank. And I think a lot of people are going to be going there. Ownership's about 15% at the moment. I suspect it's going to be up to 30-40% very soon. And that would be Cunha. So this is how I'm looking going into game week 27. I think overall I'm happy with it. I don't think it's optimal, but it's not a bad lineup. Pickford, Brentford. I think Everton can get that sort of team out. They can get a clean sheet against anyone. It would certainly be nice to see Pickford start to get his averages up for me again. He's been doing pretty well for me, in fairness. Gabriel, there are benching dilemmas here. I'm just really starting just to not trust that Arsenal defence, or Arsenal in general, to be frank. I certainly wouldn't be playing Hall against Liverpool away. I really do think this is one Liverpool. I think if Liverpool start to relax now, having got that result this morning, they could really start to open up on a few teams at Anfield. And Newcastle's defence does not look fantastic, does it? I mean, fair play to Hall for the couple of assists this morning. And yes, also had the nearly assist. I think it was for a beautiful corner, which was headed against the post. I mean, he could have 4 assists. Two absolutely settled for, and a couple of bonus, but against Liverpool away, can't see it. And then Milenkovic, Aston Villa home. That would be, if I was to bring anyone in, it would be Milenkovic. Forest seem to be doing bad performance, good performance, bad performance, good performance, a little bit like that. Well, I've just had 2 bad ones in a row, haven't they? Because they lost to Fulham as well. They look like they can be gone at the moment. That solid defence that we could rely on seems to be gone. Funnily enough, since I brought Milenkovic in. But do I fancy Forest at home against Villa more than I fancy Gabriel away to Nottingham Forest? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that one at the moment. That is one that might be a last minute decision. I'm going to go with Gabriel at the moment. He's obviously got that goal threat as well. Not that Milenkovic hasn't. It's just on my bench with his goal this morning. But we'll just going to have a little think on that one. Of course, I suppose the other one would be Huijsen, Brighton away. That could take out. Don't know. Not sure. Defensive decision to be made. Let me know what you think in the comments on that one. That is a dilemma. And I don't have the answer right now. Midfield, I think I'm reasonably happy with that. Obviously, Salah, home to Newcastle. Big captaincy decision now. This is a really big decision. A lot of people have been Palmer has been sold in his hundreds of thousands. Um, so him coming in with, even if I haven't got the captaincy on him, coming in against Southampton at home will actually get me some rank rise. Captain's armband on him. But can we trust Chelsea? But it's Southampton. Again, this one is a really big decision because this could be a huge differential if Palmer did come in big with 2 or 3. Um, but Salah just keeps matching anyone that you put against him. As I say, he got his goal and assist this morning, so he actually matched Mbumo and actually beat Isak because obviously he had the extra points with these goals for assists and everything from midfield. That's another big decision. I'm probably going to go with the popular choice and just play a little bit safe. All I want at the moment is just to try and consistently get that 70 points or over, and just try and to maintain that as much as I can for the rest of the season, and just see where it takes me. Just see where it takes me. Just be consistent. Be consistent. But it's awfully tempting, isn't it? You know, Southampton are a team to target, and surely Chelsea against Southampton will get 2 or 3 or more. I mean, they are capable of taking a team apart. Yeah, tough one. That tough one. And then Mbumo. Happy enough with that. Everton. I hate having play. I'm going to be either hoping for a pick for a clean sheet or an Mbumo brace or something like that. I don't like having players up against each other, but it's just unavoidable sometimes, especially when you're trying to be precious with transfers, and there isn't really anyone I take off the bench for Mbumo, and I don't have a playing goalkeeper with Fabianski. Might be looking to bring Henderson in post game week 29 with the double in mind, but that's way further down the track. I certainly won't be doing that in the short term. Dango, didn't really get much of a shout, obviously because of the sending off in the match this weekend. But I still fancy him. He's projected, looking at some of the projections and some of the other experts, etc. He's projected to be one of the top scoring striker midfielders this weekend for this game week, this midweek game week. Pretty happy with that, and I hope we can see Bournemouth back to their best, because it was a little bit of a case of pick me, all the Bournemouth players, pick me, and then none of them came in this week, of course. Cunha, so Cunha's in. Very easy decision. The guy is class. He's the talisman for that team. If Wolves score, it's highly likely he's involved. They're looking a lot better. I'm tempted at some point, one of the transfers potentially to fill out things for game week 29 could actually be a Nori. But there's a couple of other defenders I'm sort of tempted by as well. I've got some big decisions there to make for 29 next week. I'm glad we've got this. Going to have this. I think it's the FA Cup break. That will help clarify things a bit as we start to get a little bit of a better projection as to who's going to be doubling, and then obviously blanking in that sort of 33, 34 game week section. Watkins, that's a tough enough fixture away to Crystal Palace. I don't fancy them, but could be his last spin for me, Watkins. He's done well for me. Listen, I can't. He was unlucky not to get a goal or two. Oh my God, that would have turned it into a hell of a game week if that had come in for me. He unfortunately blanked in 26. I think you never know. It's football. It's so unpredictable. I mean, just look at this game we just got. Who would have predicted some of those scores? So who knows? He might get a brace. He might walk. Who the hell knows? And Isak Liverpool away again. Not ideal. Not ideal. But I think again, it could be one of those games. Newcastle, Liverpool. Sometimes those have been really high scoring games. So let's hope this is one of those times, and Isak gets a couple of goals, although it could probably mean losing the Trent clean sheet, of course. And that's probably the only thing I don't like about my team this week. I've got a couple of head-to-heads, which is not ideal. Let's say it's football. You never know how it's going to work out. You never know how it's going to work out. So at the moment, Wanyeri first off the bench, Milenkovic, and then Hall. I suspect I'll probably have some bench points, but unavoidable. And I just do need that bench tier at the moment. So I've got players coming in for blank 29. So what does that actually mean in terms of the old spreadsheet, how I think it's going to go? So happily, some of the results and some of the players that came in means at least my averages have started to push up a little bit. My prediction, because of the there's some of these guys have really fallen off their numbers. So I've moved the last game week in there. So in the spreadsheet going forward, because I want to see how when I transfer this over to there, I'm going to keep the colours in there, whether they were decent fixtures or harder fixtures. It just gives me an idea then as I'm removing players going further out, whether they were just coming in easy matches or whether they were actually bringing in returns in some of the tougher matches. So reasonable mix there, and at least some of these numbers have helped to bump up the averages. So we've got a range of 37 to 70 in the last 5 matches that they have played, and it's moved the numbers up a little bit. So at least it means that the average has gone up to 59 because that was way low last week, and the median is 62. So based on, sometimes I'll choose the median as my forecast, and sometimes I'll choose the average, depending on just a little bit of gut instinct. Feels like there should be a 62 in there, so we're going to go with the 62. Remember that excludes captaincy for the whatever will happen and probably will happen. So 62 is the prediction, but hopefully it's a really good game week and get a captain's haul that will bump that up, and there'll be no sort of issues with injuries, surprise benchings, etc. The things that we cannot predict. But 62 is the prediction for now. Last week's one turned out very accurate. So 62, if I can get some captain's points on there, I'll be happy. I just want to consistently hit that 70. Just on that, my average now is up to 68.19, so getting close to that 70. So I'm in a total of 1,773 points. 100k, which is what I want to try and break, it needs to be at about 20 points off, 1,793 points. So that is an average of 69 points. So the problem I'm seeing now at the moment, and this is because there's just some anomalies going on this year, namely Salah hauling almost each and every week, and everyone got him and almost everyone captained him. I would have said 70 would have comfortably, a 70-point average would have comfortably got you inside that top 100k. It absolutely would, in absolutely any previous fantasy Premier League season. In fact, 65, 66 would generally get you inside, well inside that top 100k. 70 points and a season or two gone by would have won it for you. Last year's winner was an average of about 74. This is an anomaly of a season. I think I might have to reassess what I'm going to need to have any chance of cracking that 100k. And bearing in mind, I'm happy to do it, manage through without some of the key chips in this period post 29. So I think I'm going to have to get those averages up even further to crack that. It's just an anomaly of a season. It's making it very interesting. One last point is I'll probably just talk about briefly, and this is going to be a very big call. And that is, I'm obviously ideally looking to have 11 players out for game week 29. There will be free hitters coming in, but I think a lot of people are obviously looking to manage their way through it and saving their free hit. And I've just got this thing, okay. It's like, as I say sometimes, quite often you'll find that most of your points come in through 5, 6, and sometimes less players. And this week was very typical of that. I really want Mateta. Now he does blank in 29. I'd like to bring him in for Watkins. Would ultimately mean that I'll be playing with 10 players, but just he's averaging 8 at the moment. He's just banging form. Could have brought him in for that Villa fixture, but you've got Ipswich and Southampton either side of that, followed by Brighton home, followed by a double. Free hitters will happen, but most people, I'm getting the impression, I could be wrong on this, most people seem to be trying to manage through. So they'll either be getting rid of Mateta or not buying him. On those sorts of numbers and those sorts of fixtures, I just think it might be worthwhile just bringing him in. And just play with 10. And if I've got the right 10 players, and it's actually shaping up reasonably well. That's shaping up reasonably well. We've got one more player in. So we've just got, based on this, we've just got Trent on the blank. He'll be on the bench. Isak will be on the bench. Watkins will be going, possibly for Mateta. And I just need to decide. Salah would be benched. They've got Hall. I'd like to hang on to Hall though as well, because obviously he will have that double in 32. Play with 9 players. It's not a bad double for Newcastle, but 9 players, I think that's pushing it a little bit. Working it out, working the jigsaw out as always. But I think I'm going to bring Mateta in. I do. I think he'd be worth it. I think he becomes a differential, and he's just playing 1 game week less. But those fixtures more than make up for it. Yeah. We'll decide. We'll decide. Excuse me. Decide after the international break. Because at least it gives it time just to see how this game week goes, and a lot of my decisions can be depend on how the game week just gone has gone, and that's gone pretty well. There's been a lot of ton pluses out there, but a 30k rank rise this week is absolutely more than I would have expected. Yeah, I think Mateta will be coming in for me, but we'll wait and see after the FA Cup matches. It will create a clearer picture of the landscape in the 33, 34, 35 area, as we'll be able to maybe get a better idea projecting out who's going to be doubling and blanking. And I think that's going to be important in future decisions. But at the moment, I would say, yeah, Teta could be a really good differential. Let's see what happens. All right, so that is it for now. I've looked in our mini league, some absolutely fantastic scores in there, guys. If you're listening, I'll do the Bishop Brennan Cup tomorrow, and I'm hoping to have a special guest on the program. Talk about his team for game week 27 and his plans going forward. So take care, have fun, play your own game, don't panic. I shall see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.